Feeling afraid? Here are some words of wisdom that may change how you think about God, yourself, and the future. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. What's this verse about? Paul is the author of 2 Timothy, which is his third and last letter of instruction and encouragement to Timothy, written shortly before Paul's death in AD 67. Paul is urging Timothy to stand firm and persevere in his efforts to spread the gospel despite persecution and suffering. Timothy was a young leader in the church of Ephesus whom Paul had mentored years before. Timothy's father was Greek and not a believer, but his grandmother and mother were strong in the faith and served as support for Timothy. Paul's letter to Timothy is marked with sentiment and loving emotion. It is clear that Paul thinks fondly of Timothy and believes him to possess a genuine faith in God and much potential. However, Timothy also has a timid streak. For this reason, Paul often needed to urge him to be strong and bold. Interestingly, between the two books of 1 and 2 Timothy, Paul encourages Timothy to be bold 25 times. With Paul's impending death at the hand of the Romans, he felt a sense of urgency to bolster up Timothy, who faced many years of church leadership without Paul's guidance and mentoring. I am certain most of us can relate to Timothy and his general timid nature and avoidance of conflict. It's hard in this day and age to be bold and forthright about our views when they may stir up dissension and disapproval. Looking at the scripture today, we can see it is divided into two sections. The first is declaring that the spirit of fear is not from God. This should not be confused with the fleeting feeling of fear which God has given us as an alert mechanism to potential or perceived threats in our world. We all have those automatic emotional reactions. However, what is your response to the triggered fear? Do you embrace it and weave it into your thoughts, plans, and actions? Or do you hand it over to God? We are not meant to live in a state of fear, and that is what this verse is talking about. The state of fear is crippling and limits the expression of our spiritual gifts and work in the kingdom. This gives us clues as to where the spirit of fear comes from: the devil. He loves nothing more than to paralyze you in your own thoughts and inaction and make you impotent for God. The second section of the verse characterizes the beautiful Spirit of God that lives in us. God has given us a spirit of power, meaning a bold ability to act or stand firm. A spirit of love, an authentic softening of our spirit toward others, even when they are not deserving. And finally, a spirit of sound mind, which is an overseer of the two prior characteristics. It is a spirit of self-control and discernment. If we are willing to put aside our own will and sometimes worldly influences and embrace wholly the spirit that God has gifted us, we will stand firm in the face of trials, be a source of support for fellow believers, and a witness to the lost. Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe and share this video with someone who needs to feel God's comfort and hope today.